Pull up a few grow light listings right now and you'll see the same pattern on every single one. Same 1000-watt badge, same glowing photo of a tent full of healthy green plants. Only one of them publishes a PPFD chart, the map of how much usable light actually lands on your plants. That chart is the whole difference between a gold mine and the junk you'll regret buying in about 3 weeks. Nothing else on the listing tells you which is which. Get this wrong, and here's what happens. Your seedlings stretch thin, reaching for light that isn't there. They stall out, they starve, and your power bill stays exactly the same either way. One real listing calls itself 900 watts, claims it replaces 1,200 to 1,400 watts of HPS, then admits in the fine print it draws 600. 3 numbers, 1 page, and you already know that trick. What you don't know yet is the number that actually separates a gold mine from junk. It's micromoles per joule, how much usable light comes off the diodes, the individual chips on the board, whether that's a Samsung chip or a cheaper Bridgelux one. 2 panels can wear that exact same badge at that exact same price, but only one of them will actually let you check it. The spec that isn't on the box. There's a chart that shows exactly how much usable light lands on your plant, at what distance, across what spread. Most listings never show it to you. And the spec that actually decides whether your money was well spent isn't printed on the box at all. That chart measures something called PAR, photosynthetically active radiation, the 400 to 700 nanometer slice of light plants actually use to grow. PPFD is how much of that PAR is landing on your canopy, at a given spot, in a given second. Everything else in this video comes back to those 2 ideas. What the wattage badge is hiding. Here's where equivalent wattage actually comes from. Sellers either compare their LED to an old HPS bulb from decades ago, or they take each diodes, that's the individual chip that actually produces the light, max possible rating, and multiply it by how many diodes are inside. Neither one measures what the fixture actually pulls from your wall, and here's why that number is worthless. LEDs almost never run at full diode capacity. Manufacturers drive them well below max to keep them cool and keep them alive for years. So that big calculated wattage describes a scenario that never happens in your grow room. Remember that number, micromoles per joule? Here's the scale that makes it useful. Under 2.0, you're looking at an inefficient light. At 2.7 or higher, you're looking at a good one. Now here's where it gets interesting, and where a lot of buyers get fooled twice. A single diode can test high on a lab bench, isolated, running under ideal conditions. The assembled fixture, the actual light sitting in your cart, often measures a lot lower once the whole board and the drive current get factored in. Part of a premium price is real. A genuine mean-well driver, the part that regulates power to the light, costs money. A genuine Samsung diode costs money. A longer warranty backed by an actual company costs money. But part of that price is just packaging and ad spend. It never turns into photons landing on your plant. The Mars Hydro FCE shows this mechanism out in the open. It's built quantum board style. Diodes spread flat across a board instead of clustered in a single bulb, the standard layout for almost every serious grow light now. It uses Bridgelux diodes, more of them than the premium version, run at a lower drive current. Fixture-wide, independent testing puts it near 2.8 micromoles per joule. That's within a hair of the Samsung-equipped FC's 2.92. Same output class, cheaper diode, lower price. And if you want to see this same trick get caught in category after category before you buy, this channel does exactly that every week. Because the badge you just saw isn't unique to grow lights, it shows up anywhere a number gets printed before anyone checks it. Samsung's LM301B and LM301H diodes now show up on budget lights and premium lights alike. That convergence is a big part of why price stopped predicting performance the way it used to. One honest caveat here. Brands swap diodes quietly between model years. The same brand name on the box doesn't guarantee the same part inside it, so check the current spec sheet before you buy, not last year's review. This trick has a fingerprint, and it shows up on one kind of listing more than any other. The fingerprint of a fake listing. It's not one brand doing this, it's a pattern, and the piece that's always missing is the PPFD chart, the map that shows how much light actually lands across your grow space, corner to corner. No chart, no way to know what you're actually getting. Here's the fingerprint that pattern leaves behind. A big glow photo of a lush tent, reused across a dozen cellars under a dozen different labels. A huge equivalent wattage badge. A price way below anything from a maker you'd recognize, something like a 600-watt panel selling for around $30. Add a safety flag to this too. A lot of these anonymous panels carry no safety certification at all. That's a real fire risk red flag worth checking before you buy anything cheap, regardless of what it claims to put out. An HID equivalent wattage isn't a regulated term. No governing body checks it, nobody signs off on it. The Design Lights Consortium, the industry group that certifies serious lighting, actually bars that kind of claim from anything it certifies. For contrast, commercial lines like the AC Infinity Ion Frame, priced around $359, publish full PPFD maps and real fixture specs. They're not better because they're honest. They're priced for a different buyer. That's the only difference worth noting here. So the fix was never avoid cheap lights. The fix is checking for the one chart that separates a real budget light from an anonymous one wearing the same badge. And here's the part that should change how you shop. 5 lights sitting at that exact same cheap price point actually publish that number, or have been independently tested to it. 5 lights that publish the number. Start with the Mars Hydro FCE, because it's the cleanest proof of everything you just heard. You already know the trick. More Bridgelux diodes, run cooler, landing near 2.8 micromoles per joule fixture wide, almost matching the Samsung-equipped FC's 2.92. That's not a discount light pretending to keep up. That's the mechanism working exactly the way it's supposed to, priced for a buyer who doesn't need the Samsung name on the box. Next is the Mars Hydro TS1000, the honest workhorse of the lineup. Rated draw sits at 150 watts. Measured draw comes in closer to 145. Total light output, the raw amount of usable light the fixture puts out every second, lands somewhere between 315 and 343 micromoles. The diodes inside are unbranded, nothing fancy, and independent testing measured it at 2.18 micromoles per joule. Not the 2.3 some listings advertise. That gap matters less than you'd think, because 2.18 still beats most of what sits at this price. The honest cap? Early units had driver problems. Mars Hydro has since improved that part. Buy this one through a seller with a real return policy anyway, just in case you land an older batch. Mars Hydro fans and Spider Farmer fans have been arguing about this for years, and honestly, both sides have a point. The Mars Hydro crowd chases the most light per dollar, full stop. The Spider Farmer crowd cares more about even coverage and squeezing out every last decimal of efficiency. Neither one is wrong. They're just optimizing for a different number. Which brings us to the Spider Farmer SF1000. It draws 100 watts, and the diodes depend entirely on which batch you're buying. Older stock runs Samsung LM301H EVO diodes. Stock built for 2026 switched to Bridgelux instead. Check the current listing before you buy, because the name on the box doesn't tell you which one you're getting. Fixture efficiency on the SF1000 measures at 2.5 micromoles per joule, and the SF2000 measures higher at 2.85. Spider Farmer's own marketing likes to quote 3.14. That's a single diode tested alone on a lab bench, not the assembled fixture you'd actually plug in. It ships with a mean well driver and a 5-year warranty, which is solid. The honest cap here isn't the hardware, it's shipping and customer service. Both lag behind how good the light itself actually is. Then there's the Barrina T5 strip, the cheapest real answer on the whole list. Each 4-foot strip draws about 20 watts, and an 8-pack runs around $60, daisy-chained off a single outlet. One hands-on test measured close to 300 micromoles per square meter per second at 12 inches, plenty for seedlings and herbs on a shelf. Move much past a foot away and that output drops off fast, so this isn't a light for anything with real height. Here's the teaching moment built right into the box. Barrina's own packaging says 160 watts replaces 1000 watts. Even a light that's actually worth buying still plays the equivalent wattage game to sell itself. Worth remembering every time you read a badge on any box, including the good ones. Last is the HortiBloom Mega Plus line, and this one earns its spot on paperwork as much as performance. It runs named diodes, Samsung LM281B Plus Pro and LM301H, paired with Osram Deep Red chips. Fixture efficiency conservatively lands near 2.8 to 2.9 micromole per joule. It ships with custom heat sinks, an IP65 rating for dust and water resistance, and UL-listed drivers, power units that have passed independent safety testing. It also carries both DLC and ETL certification, the efficiency and safety marks regulators actually check, backed by a 5-year warranty. Price runs from about $449 to $1,199, depending on the model. And it's sold through real dealers, not some anonymous marketplace listing with a stock photo. 5 lights, 5 different price points, one thread running through all of them. Each one either publishes a real fixture number or has been independently tested to 1. That's the entire difference between a gold mine and the anonymous panel we walked through 2 sections back. Same badge, same glow photo, completely different honesty. The rule that replaces the badge. Here's the buying rule, stated as plainly as I can put it. Buy the cheap light that publishes a real efficiency number, or one an independent tester has already measured for you. Skip the one that only shows you a big wattage badge and nothing else. That's the whole filter. Know your own setup before you spend anything. A windowsill of herbs or a seed-starting shelf doesn't need much. A $50 to $60 strip or a small panel covers that job completely. A 2x4 space full of houseplants or vegetables is where a mid-panel earns its price, something like the FCE or the SF1000. And if you've just got one houseplant on a side table, you don't need a grow light at all. A grow bulb screwed into a normal lamp does the job. Run the cost math too, because efficiency isn't just a spec, it's a bill. A 200-watt LED running 12 hours a day costs around $8.64 a month at typical electric rates. That number stays low every single month you run it, which is the entire point of chasing efficiency over a big wattage badge in the first place. And the payoff isn't just cheaper power bills. Independent testing found a 600-watt LED outperforming a 600-watt ceramic metal halide by about 23% more fruit weight in an 8-week tomato trial at matched wattage. Same power draw, notably more food. The label watt was never the number that decided your harvest. Now, if you want to see what buying up actually gets you, look at SanLight's EVO line. Built in Austria, running Seoul Semiconductor and Osram diodes, IP65 rated. It's built to hold over 90% of its output for close to 20 years, running 12 hours a day. Priced between roughly $430 and $760, and you won't find it on Amazon, direct or dealer only. This isn't the villain of the video. It's just priced for a different kind of buyer, someone paying for 2 decades instead of 2 years. So here's the honest question, and there's no wrong answer to it. Is $600 for the Austrian build smarter than a $60 gold mine and pocketing the rest? Both sides are defensible, and people who know this stuff argue about it constantly. Check the chart before you check the price, and let me know in the comments which of these 5 you already own.